Starting off, which team is the most overpowered? We're going to talk about a lot of teams here, okay? Which team is more overpowered? Flamengo from 2025 or Botafogo from 2024?
Starting lineup or
The team? Squad.
Man, Botafogo's team was really good, right? It was really good. And like Flamengo can still show more, you know? They're starting to develop, the team changed and all. I think that among these, in terms of how they played, I think Botafogo had a lot of good games. But for me, Flamengo at its best was better than Botafogo's play.
I'm with Botafogo in 2024 because this team is really historic. They're Libertadores and Brazilian champions. That's Flamengo's dream.
Yeah, that's what Flamengo is still fighting for, right? Like we said, you can't...
Flamengo's potential ceiling is higher, but Botafogo was more dominant. I believe Flamengo is on track to surpass Botafogo's dominance because on paper they have a lot better players, but...
man, it's really complicated to keep comparing.
What could be with what wasn't?
In August, a team that had already made its mark on the scene. That's a really tough one, man. Is it knockout or what?
It's Flamengo against other teams.
Oh, really? Is it always going to be Flamengo?
It's always Flamengo.
All right. Man, so that being said, Flamengo.
Flamengo?
Yeah.
I voted for Botafogo, but I was outvoted. That'll make a good clip.
You vote with your heart, right?
No. Yeah, next. Flamengo from 2025 or Fluminense from 2023. I don't think even Fluminense from
Diniz and...
Flamengo.
Yeah, I think Flamengo is more dominant, right? Fluminense, man, had a brilliant season. Germancano.
Even though Fluminense ran rings around City.
Yeah, but there's no way, right? It's a different sport.
I also think I'm going with Flamengo on this one, man.
With all due respect to Flu, okay? But there's no way.
Saying one is better doesn't mean the other is bad.
No, of course not. But look at this Flamengo team, the consistency.
Exactly.
It could be that Flamengo doesn't win anything.
It's about how they play since you can't compare titles, one team.
There are teams that become memes.
No, that's inevitable.
But that's how it is. The 2025 Flamengo team or the 2022 Flamengo team champion of the Libertadores and the Copa do Brasil?
I would also go with the 2025 Flamengo team in this comparison, man. I think the 2025 Flamengo team plays better soccer than the 2022 team.
You think so?
I think so. I think there's more control and dominance in the game.
I think that Flamengo team from 2022 destroyed, man.
I think it's really good, man.
There was a quartet with Everton Ribeiro at his peak, a World Cup player, Arrascaeta, Gabigol, and Pedro, all at their peak.
Do you think Flamengo from 2022 is better than Botafogo from 2024?
Man, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think it's pretty balanced, you know? Pretty balanced. It's just that, like, they're different ways of playing, right?
I prefer the 2022 Flamengo team on paper over the 2024 Botafogo team, but the 2024 Botafogo team...
On paper, yes, I agree too.
To me, it's more consistent than Flamengo in 2022.
The 2022 Flamengo team won the Libertadores.
Without any real trouble.
That's it.
They only tied one game.
The team was dominant up front, right? The offense was really strong.
Yes. It's just that in 2022, Flamengo also kind of dropped off a bit in the Copa do Brasil at the end in the last matches.
I think that with Flamengo in 2025, this is a squad, a team that's stacked with stars on the national level, right? That's what always makes the difference. You look at it, it's a lineup that's really like, wow, that's crazy, you know?
Yeah, that's right. And we see it when everything clicks too, right? When they're having a good day like they did now against International, it's just crazy, man.
Because the level of players this team has is something no other team ever had, you know? So it's really complicated.
Yeah, but that's about the squad too.
Exactly.
So I think that if we were to suppose that the teams would win the same titles, theoretically, winning the same titles and discussing the way the team played.
Then it's the 2025 Flamengo team.
I'll pick Flamengo from 2025, you know? If I say that team won, I can't compare since the 2025 Flamengo team hasn't finished the year yet.
It's not over yet.
They might not win anything, you know, but like...
Flamengo is even stronger than in 2022.
I prefer the 2025 team over the 2022 team.
I think the 2022 team could beat the 2025 Flamengo with their street smarts. You have a Gabigol at his peak.
But you know what I think also matters? I think what also matters in this discussion is that like 2025 is an evolution of the 2022 team.
It's an evolution.
Because Flamengo has been constantly improving, investing more and more in its squad.
Man, Flamengo wins. Flamengo is colossal in the Libertadores knockout rounds.
I think the 2025 Flamengo is better, okay? But the 2022 Flamengo has a game-changing edge that maybe no other team on this list will have.
Of players, you mean? Of more game-changing players?
Well, because, let's talk. The quartet, Flamengo's ideal quartet this year, right, is Gonzalo Plata, Arrascaeta, Samuel Lino, and Pedro.
Yeah, it ended up being Bruno Henrique, right?
It's Bruno Henrique. Okay, Bruno Henrique. And in 2022, it was Everton Ribeiro, Arrascaeta, Gabigol, and Pedro.
Yeah, Bruno Henrique was...
No, but player for player.
It's a much more game-changing team up front. This Flamengo team is much more solid than the 2022 team, but that one was much more game-changing.
That said, I would vote for 2025.
I'm going with 2022.
I'll go with 25.
25? One more time.
Now, using the card from...
Both of them win the same title.
They win the same title. Because, man, it's tough to compare, you know?
Yeah, man, even the image there.
Next name, next name. Flamengo from 25, Atlético Mineiro from 22. Oh, damn. Yeah, Atlético Mineiro from 22. No, that's not right. Flamengo from 2025 doesn't exist yet.
21, right?
It's 21, 22, right?
Yeah, because Atletico from 21 wins.
No, that's it. It's 22. 22.
But 21.
22.
22. Flamengo wins the Copa do Brasil. Is this the Super Cup? Is that it?
Super Cup,
I see. Yeah, so it's Flamengo.
it's 21, 22. Sorry, just wanted to clarify.
So that changes things.
It's the oh gross, oh gross.
Atletico Mineiro missed out on winning it all due to a small detail in the semifinals, right?
Exactly.
21,
The team
semifinal against Flamengo.
The team was playing really well.
Zaracho Nacho, on paper, it's not that good, but the way they played was scary.
Hulk.
Hulk was incredible. Chiche. Eduardo Sacha.
Chiche likes to win titles, right?
He likes winning titles. I'm going with that Atletico Mineiro team. Flamengo hasn't reached that level yet. They might reach it, but they haven't yet, no.
Man, I can't rank Flamengo below Gallo, no. Even though Gallo plays well and fits together, Flamengo plays a much more dominant style of soccer today. Flamengo is really dominant.
But the other day people were complaining about Flamengo, right?
Yeah, nobody ever complained about this Gallo team. This team was very dominant.
Because that's something that's already in the past. We should just remember the best moments too, right?
Man, this Gallo team was a powerhouse.
Those guys easily won the Copa do Brasil and the Brazilian Championship, steamrolling in the final.
Yeah.
And the Libertadores was just a detail.
Yeah, Hulk missed the penalty, right, against Palmeiras.
But you're crazy, man. That team was really dominant. Flamengo in 2025 might be.
I don't like these kinds of comparisons.
Yeah, that's why.
That puts you in bad situations, right?
Yeah, what can you do?
But, Flamengo.
Palmeiras 2021.
Palmeiras, the team that lost to Flamengo in the Libertadores, right? No, the winner, the Andreas Pereira one.
That team, yeah. I think I would also put Flamengo in 2025.
Especially because the Flamengo team from 21 was the favorite over Palmeiras in the Libertadores and was playing better than Palmeiras in the final. And then Andreas Pereira's slip and Flamengo loses.
So far, this is the only team that's won just one title, right?
Yeah, the only one. Didn't this team win the São Paulo State Championship? No, São Paulo did.
No, I mean out of those three, right?
Yeah,
Atletico won both the 2021 Copa do Brasil and the Brazilian Championship.
that's it. So the next one, that was Flamengo, no problem. That's a time saver, right?
That's one of Brazil's historic teams, right?
Time saver, right?
There's no way to compare that one.
The lineup from 25 could eventually be seen as better than the 2019 one, which is the worst part.
I think that in terms of squad, the 2025 one is better than the 2019 one.
It's better.
But in terms of how they played,
The starting lineup, I'm not sure if it's better.
the starters and the backbone,
It's not because of the quartet.
the show, what they put on,
Do you think Varela is better than Rafinha?
Except for Rafinha.
Is Alexandro better than Felipe Luis?
It's up for debate.
Is Rossi better than Diego Alves?
No way.
do you prefer Leo Pereira and Leo Ortiz?
This year's defense is much better than...
Do you think Rodrigo Caio
This year's center backs are 1,000 times better than Rodrigo.
1,000 times better?
1,000 times better. 1,000 times better.
Seriously?
1,000 times.
Come on, what is this? That's an exaggeration.
The best defense in Brazil by far.
Do you think Leo Pereira is better than Varela?
Yeah. He's better,
I also think it's better, but I don't think it's much better.
and Ortiz is better than Rodrigo Caio. He's an improvement over Rodrigo Caio.
Man, because
Very difficult.
The duo Rodrigo Caio?
he played really well in the youth teams.
If Saul and Jorginho are your ideal, with no competition like the 2019 defensive midfield duo, it's not the first choice, so it's not the best anymore.
Saul is now, right? He isn't usually a starter.
But if it is,
I think defensive midfield wins.
defensive midfield wins. The 2019 Arrascaeta is worse than the 2025 version. I think so.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't know, man.
I don't think so.
And besides that, there's no debate.
Bruno Henrique, the
Arrascaeta,
hasn't been scoring lately, right?
it's because this year he's the main player.
In 2019, he was...
He was the perfect sidekick.
Yeah, well, I think that in 2019, the way he played too,
Yeah, there's no way to repeat it. So it was Brazil's top team of the century.
one of the best teams in Brazil in recent times, man. I would go with 2019 in this vote.
It's 2019.
2019 without a doubt.
Flamengo in 2025 or Grêmio from 2017. They had Luan, Arthur, and Maicon.
Flamengo.
I would also go with Flamengo, even though that Grêmio played beautifully, man. That Grêmio played really well. Maicon and Arthur there, man. That midfield was just too good.
It's Grêmio. It's Grêmio, right?
I wouldn't go with Grêmio, no.
Sorry, it's Flamengo. I'm a Flamengo fan too. Flamengo is better.
But Luan really put on a show then.
It was a tough period for Brazilian soccer, wasn't it? Why? For me, it was a murky period because the team, we were in a kind of declining phase there of...
There was the...
We weren't...
Botafogo was eliminated by Grêmio in the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah.
Barcelona de Guayaquil, the final was against Lanús.
For me, the Libertadores was the easiest ever.
Easiest, but there's no such thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Whoever gets through will be there, the ones who made it.
It's circumstantial. Barcelona played there and Marcelo Grohe made that amazing save in that game.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
And in the final, they faced Lanús, who knocked out River in the semifinals.
that's it. Yeah.
And then Luan put on a show. Flaw 25 or Corinthians from 2015, the best Corinthians team?
That Corinthians team from 2015 is the one everyone points to when someone says tight is defensive. Then they say defensive. 2015 Corinthians had the best attack in the country. And they played really well, man. Jadson and Renato Augusto were always being debated, right, about who was better.
Elias, Wagner Love, Malcolm. Great team, great team, great team, great team.
Arana.
Arana, wow.
Man, that Corinthians team was really good. I think it was the best Corinthians team in recent times, right? By far.
For me, it was...
The one from the Club World Cup is better, isn't it?
2012?
No.
Man, I think the way they played, I think the 2012 team was more exciting to watch.
It was more exciting to watch. It was a different style of play.
Yeah. The 2012 team was safer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but comparing them, there's no way. It's the 2025 Flamengo team, right? It's just that Flamengo's 2025 team is also the... Yeah, man, I think Flamengo is kind of reaching its peak more and more, right?
I want us to come back here in December to do this, to look at it.
It's going to be trash. He was awful.
I'm a Corinthians fan.
The best team doesn't win anything.
I'm a Corinthians fan.
So far, Flamengo hasn't won anything.
Yeah, you're getting carried away. Flamengo still hasn't reached its ceiling. Flamengo still hasn't reached its ceiling. Corinthians' ceiling was higher than Flamengo's.
And we don't even know if they'll reach it, right?
Exactly, I'm a Corinthians fan.
That's the question.
A Corinthians team in 2013 or 2014 started strong, impressing everyone, but then was eliminated in the Libertadores quarterfinals or round of 16.
Just like Santa Cruz in 2010, they finished first and then...
2016.
Yeah, in 2016 they dropped.
Grafite.
Graffit, goalkeeper.
João Paulo.
Yeah, just those elephant jokes, like the elephant in the tree.
It was 6 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, at the beginning.
Santa Cruz that year won the Pernambucano and the Northeast Cup.
Yeah. And they start as leaders.
Coral fans.
I really like Santinha. Beautiful, amazing jersey.
It's really cool.
Flamengo 2025 or Everton Ribeiro's Cruzeiro from 2013?
The Cruzeiro from 2013 couldn't beat the Flamengo from 2013 in the Copa do Brasil.
Couldn't do it? That's what's happening? If you put both teams face to face nowadays, it's a...
That Cruzeiro squad was strange, right? Julio Baptista was even on the bench.
Yeah, but he was already past his prime.
He was more into organizing pagode parties than anything else, right?
Yeah.
Egidio right there, Gidão right there.
Gidão.
He really likes it. If there's Gidão, there's a trophy.
Willian, Rodrigo, Mike.
It's a good team. And Everton Ribeiro, unbelievable. Dede, incredible. Ricardo Goulart was in unbelievable form.
Gigão.
Souza, the redhead over there.
Borges, right?
Borges.
Man, I really like that Cruzeiro team because of Everton Ribeiro.
Me too.
Man, Everton Ribeiro was magic, and Ricardo Goulart.
Different times for Brazilian football, right? A dominant team and not...
Brazilian football was poorer, right? Yeah, poor, economically.
Today, a dominant team winning the Brazilian championship isn't enough. There's always more pressure. That year, it was Cruzeiro winning the Brazilian championship, and that was that.
Yes.
That's great. These days, if Flamengo wins only one title, people will definitely complain.
If they win only the Brazilian championship.
Just that.
Man, well, I think it all depends, right? If Flamengo just wins the Brazilian championship but gets eliminated in the Libertadores semifinals, it'll feel like we could have gone further. But if Flamengo had been knocked out by River or Inter last Wednesday, I think the year would already be labeled as a failure.
Even winning the Brazilian championship?
I think the fans would be outraged.
I think people kind of forget about it in a way.
But I think Flamengo is the better team.
Which I think is crazy, okay? I think it's crazy.
Yes, it's an exaggeration.
I think that's the pressure, man.
Yeah, because nowadays nobody is satisfied with anything, right? That's true.
The question is, which team is more stacked? Which team is more stacked?
Flamengo?
Flamengo, man. With all the money they've poured in, is there anything more stacked than that?
Yeah, that's it.
Atletico from 2013.
Or Galo, which had this bizarre aura in 2013.
Yo,
The comeback Gallo.
I believe. Look, this Galo team,
look at Alexandro back there.
Alexandro is another one too, right? If there's Alexandro, there's a trophy.
yeah, it's bizarre. This Gallo side would be dominated by Flamengo the whole game, but on the last play, Gallo would get a corner and score.
There was that play from this Gallo where they'd send it to from Marco Jorge. No, they'd send it to Joe. He'd flick it on. Bernard would run behind, cutting in, and man,
That team was tough.
they did that one all the time.
No, there was also Victor's save.
In 2012, this team finished second in the Brazilian Championship, right?
Yeah.
And in 2014, they won the Copa do Brasil against Cruzeiro.
One thing that was normal for the team in Brazilian soccer, great teams would win. Like, their titles were staggered, you know? Like,
Yeah.
one year it's the Brazilian Championship, another it's the Libertadores, and now it's just constant, right?
Was it more democratic?
It was, but it was more possibilities, right? Nowadays, it's really hard for a dominant team not to, like,
Winning 2 titles, right?
yeah, exactly, because usually the squads are much stronger, right?
Yeah, it's like we said at the beginning, right? It was Palmeiras. Some teams came and went. Then it got to Palmeiras, and they said, wow, the first team that only won 1 title. Only right, in quotes.
Yeah, it was in 2021.
Exactly.
Won the Libertadores. All right,
So which team is more overpowered?
Flamengo.
Flamengo.
Flamengo? Even with Ronaldinho, that's still not enough?
Ronaldinho is a trump card, right? Still, I'd choose Flamengo.
Yeah, this Flamengo is even more overpowered.
Is that what you said, overpowered?
Overpowered? No.
You came here to correct me, now you want to correct me?
It's overpowered, man, overpowered.
Then comes the,
Flamengo 2025 Corinthians, not happening. On paper, Flamengo seems better, but Corinthians can't be stronger than a world champion, right? Yeah, I'm going to have to. There's no way. Even though, like, if you look at the squads lineup by lineup, there's really no competition, maybe.
yeah, they win the Libertadores undefeated.
Undefeated, yeah.
World champion?
Goes past Neymar Santos, Corinthians, Vasco from 2000,
Beats Chelsea.
beats Boca.
Both beat Chelsea. That question even came up.
It's a tough Libertadores path for this Corinthians. There's no denying it. Flamengo could become overpowered, but
Man, it's complicated, huh? But I think the Club World Cup is the trump card there.
yeah, world champion.
Did they steal? Did they steal?
There's no way.
You went there. You went there?
I do.
You went there. You went there, Corinthians?
Yeah. So speaking of world champions,
Whoa, slipped here.
if there's a team that's not overpowered at all, right?
Slipped here. In Mario Kart.
Because it's not overpowered at all.
Spinning here.
It's Caberu's Inter. It's not overpowered at all.
I've got 3 idiots worked up here. Well, 2 since he already knew.
I already knew. That's why I tossed these things at you. Yeah. That's not overpowered at all. It's just messed up.
No, there's no way. I think Flamengo is more stacked. If Flamengo is going to be able to win
But it's not comparable.
the Club World Cup, we don't know.
It's a different time, right? Like we said, it's a different time. I think they're different situations, but if we're talking about being overpowered, stacked is stacked.
But it's crazy how teams were formed back in the day, right? There wasn't this thing about having a squad and investing and bringing in players. It was more about one piece, a disposable one.
It was much more basic.
I'd watch each season as a new team formed, then quickly left, replaced by another group. It was just crazy. It was all crazy.
And like the teams would change completely from the middle of the year on because you win the Libertadores and you sign players thinking about the Club World Cup and you kind of drop the Brazilian Championship and just play it to get ready, right?
Ah, Guerrero doesn't win the Libertadores, right?
He doesn't win it.
It's only for the second scenario.
Exactly. So,
That's Flamengo, sorry.
is Flamengo even more stacked?
That's it. That's historic.
But that's a super team, right? It's a super team.
That's São Paulo.
Over the next few years, they win the Brazilian Championship 3 times in a row. It's consecutive, one after another. It's São Paulo's super team, not just a single year.
They almost won 4 in a row, right? In 2009.
Exactly.
They were in the fight, they were leading.
I don't think any Brazilian team will win the championship 3 years in a row, even with strong squads like Flamengo.
You don't see any chance? Oh, I do. Palmeiras almost made it, man.
Flamengo too, man.
Flamengo did it twice, in 19 and 20, since that was the 2021 season, right?
Palmeiras too, man. Palmeiras got close to... If Palmeiras had beaten Botafogo at Allianz, that game last year, they would have had every chance to win 3 in a row, but that was the championship basically ended there, right? Pretty much.
São Paulo is dominant, no comparison.
They had Mineiro, Junior.
Are you crazy? It was Inter was really an outlier, right? Like the one that won the Club World Cup, you know?
Who was the right back? Cicinho.
Cicinho.
Cicinho, Julio.
Great team, great team.
Fabao, Lugano.
Many people think São Paulo's teams in the years that followed were better, and maybe they were on paper.
I'm not sure if they were.
There's a goal, but I think in 2000, I don't know if it was 6 or 7.
Mineiro played, Danilo.
Josue played well, didn't he? He returned to Germany, right?
Yeah.
Amoroso is coming for the Club World Cup, right?
Amoroso and, no. The one coming for the Club World Cup is Chulapa.
Chulapa?
The attack in the Libertadores was Amoroso and Luizão.
Amoroso played really well, didn't he?
Luizão also played on the team.
Luizão left and came.
Luizão always wins championships wherever he goes.
There's a defender I forgot. Maybe it was...
Ed Carlos.
Was it Ed Carlos?
Breno's next, right? Breno's next.
Ed Carlos, Lugano.
So Lugano, Ed Carlos, and Fabão?
Yeah, if so, Junior, Mineiro, and Josue.
Ed Carlos.
Left back, Junior, the 4-time champion.
Junior, the 5-time champion?
Junior, the 5-time champion.
5-time champion, sorry.
Had 5-time champ on the brain.
Great team.
That's right.
This São Paulo team is the kind of team that makes you say, man, those guys, their team is really good.
And Danilo.
São Paulo was everything.
It said Carlos himself. That's it.
São Paulo was what every Brazilian team aspired to be, right?
It was wild. São Paulo really dominated.
São Paulo's fans really took off and grew a lot back then, right? São Paulo's fans.
It was insane. São Paulo was insane. It was really scary. São Paulo was colossal. It was really insane.
There was a goalkeeper who scored goals.
Man, it was miles apart.
Come on, even the goalkeeper scores, but I get it.
São Paulo was really insane, you know? And nowadays we don't really realize it, but
No, we don't.
Flamengo and Palmeiras represent, in terms of fear, of shock, what that São Paulo maybe used to represent. In South America, for their rivals, it was the same kind of thing because it's crazy. These teams are much better organized and have way more money. That was São Paulo back then. Yeah, but São Paulo lost its way. But it's coming back, who knows, right?
Yeah, it seems like things are kind of cyclical, right? Like, it seems like there are certain times when one team dominates, then it falls, and for some reason another one comes up.
No, São Paulo is way more overpowered. Next. Cruzeiro from 2003.
The professors.
That team was a machine. No way. It's much more overpowered than this Flamengo.
Man,
This is the last one.
It's Cruzeiro who did.
more than 100 points.
That was the one with more than 100 points.
Very good.
There were more games, right? There were 46 rounds, right?
There's no discussion at all.
But man,
He also won the Copa do Brasil.
he won the Copa do Brasil, crushed Flamengo in the Copa do Brasil, won the Mineiro, right? Triple crown.
Triple crown.
Man, I am.
Michael.
The way Alex played in 2003, I think that Cruzeiro team in this century, I think would only lose to
To the 2019 Flamengo team.
the 2019 Flamengo team, and it would be a close match, okay?
Yeah, that team was great. I agree.
It was a really good team, man.
It was a machine, right?
The attack, man, dude, we played some amazing soccer back then in the 90s, early 2000s. There was David
Scoring a lot of goals, right?
in his prime there, right?
Michael, Felipe Melo,
Zinho.
Zinho. Great team.
Michael was a substitute, right? The starter next to him is Maurinho.
Maurinho.
Then he wins the Brazilian title with Santos in 2002. And he goes to Cruzeiro in 2003. There, Felipe Melo was also a substitute, but he would come in.
Eder. Eder was a starter.
Zinho, Edu Dracena.
Guys, this is an amazing historic team.
We used David and had one more forward.
There was a midfielder named after a state or something like that. I forgot, man.
Oh, Marabá.
It wasn't Marabano.
Mossoró?
Mossoró? No, Mossoró played for Paulista.
He played for Inter later.
Wasn't it Marabá, the defensive midfielder?
No, I forgot the guy's name. I'll check here. But man, I think for that one I'd go with 2003.
Marabá is a city, right?
I was young, but where Águia de Marabá is from. I was young, but man, I remember Cruzeiro's team, man. It was scary to play against them because Jesus.
The defense there was Luizão.
Chris
The goalkeeper Gomes.
in goal, Gomez, man, what a great team.
That's crazy, isn't it? No way.
The left back was,
Recife. Augusto Recife.
but there was Marabá on that team too, wasn't there?
I don't know, I don't remember.
Or was it later?
No, not on that team. I think that was later.
Maldonado, man, they had Maldonado.
Maldonado. Leandro.
Leandro Puchecha.
That's another, right? Maldonado won titles whenever he played, right?
Yeah, Moda, Alex. You know what I remember in the PS game I played?
I think Augusto Recife.
It was always the same. Mota shoots on goal. I remember Mota, the striker.
Yeah, if it wasn't really PES, right?
Yeah, no.
It was winning 11.
Yeah, winning 11. No, was it the pirated one? The Boba Pet, the Boba Pet, the one with Moda?
Mota.
Yeah, you don't remember Moda?
Man,
Aristizabal, it was like that. Aristizabal.
Badass.
we used to play at my place with the guys. Those were some great tournaments.
Very good, very good.
Awesome.
It was cool.
I wish I had lived in that time.
It was cool.
So Cruzeiro, right? There's not much to say.
Man, this Cruzeiro,
I'm a Cruzeiro fan.
man, it's terrifying.
I'm a Cruzeiro fan.
There was one at Zambuco and then he went to Real Madrid, right?
The corn is finished.
Should we move on to the Sudamericana?
Sudamericana.
Standings. There was the South American Cup, not just the Libertadores. And we proved that Calm down, fans, calm down. Is Flamengo really good? Yes, but calm down, take it easy. And the Sudamericana? The Sudamericana bracket is set with Alianza Lima. In the quarterfinals, we don't know if they'll make the semis yet.
Yeah.
Yesterday, there was some fake news.
Fake news, yeah. It showed up on Twitter.
Exactly. We still don't know if it's going to...
Always on Twitter.
Who will make it, what happened. Universidad de Chile and Independiente, there was that ridiculous, bizarre fight.
Scary, right?
Scary, and a case that...
It's strange this still happens in soccer today.
The fake news for viewers is that both teams would be eliminated, correct?
Exactly.
And then Alianza would automatically go to the semifinals, but there was nothing on the CONMEBOL website or on CONMEBOL's social media. So fake news, it could happen, but as of 2:50 today, nothing has been decided yet.